Hi, I'm Angela Wolf, and today I want to give you a little idea on appliquing a jacket. I love embellishing jackets. So look at the front of this jacket. That's all applique and then stitched with a quilting stitch all the way around. It almost looks like leather. And then the sleeves, this was really a fun one. Again, applique with stitching around it. This is a real customization to your outfits, whatever, if it's a jacket, a dress. And if you're gonna do the sleeve, one thing is you're gonna have to, before you sew the sleeve closed, you need to do the applique. For the front, you just do it before you put the facing on. So let's see what we have here. So I'm using an electronic cutting machine. I could cut all these by hand, but that would take forever. Look at all of these. I was able to cut all of these in one quick motion. And this is what goes on the front of the jacket. This is the outside of the sleeve. I was able to cut each sleeve all in one. And notice how I can make them go different angles, whatever. Here's the fabric. Now this is the funny part. Can you imagine if you were to cut this out and spray it with adhesive and put it on a garment to applique? It would take forever. I picked this because I thought it would make great lining, and then it'll make a great blouse. But for now, it's the applique. So how do I stiffen up this fabric? Well, here's one that's a little bit stiffer, but it has the nice shine to it. That would look pretty good on there as well, but I would still need something more than just the fabric. And I have one more piece of fabric as an idea for you. This is just silver. It's not like a silver or gold lame. It has a little bit more substance than that. A little bit heavier than the last two, but still needs some help. But this would also be great for an applique like this. So these two pieces, what I have on the back, this is a backing. Here, it looks just like this. There are many different kinds. Some of them you just press on and then peel off, and some of them you peel, press on to your fabric, and then the other side peels as well. So whatever kind you have, you just need a fusible backing on here to make this firm, because once it cuts out, I'm going to lift this off and see how that's all sticky. That's what's going to stick to your garment, and then you press that in place, and then you stitch around it. So here I have, let's pick a design. I'm going to go on here, and I want to make the design really big, like the sleeves. I already have a few here, just like this for the front. Those are very tiny, very intricate designs. But let's go for a bigger one. I can pick whatever design I want, and let's say, you know how wide and how large your fabric is, so your design has to fit within that. So let's go with 10 inches. Oh, 9.3, that's close enough. There's my design, right here. It looks like that will fit on the fabric pretty well. You need to move it around, but first let's scan our fabric in just to see and make sure that nothing is being cut outside the line. So what I've done here is I've already stuck the fabric. The fabric is sticking right like this. So it should go right through. Let's load our mat. And let's scan the fabric in. So if you have a bunch of little pieces, you could technically cut these out of many different colors, but I just want one big design. I'm going to run it through. And it looks like the design fits on there just perfectly. I could actually add another one if I wanted to, but that's almost, so you have to figure that's almost 10 inches. That's a pretty big design. That would be perfect for the sleeve. So all I'm going to do now is hit OK, and it's going to cut. So while that's doing that, I've already done that on here. This is what you end up with. This looks like a little bit smaller than that one, but it's pretty close. So after it's cut, you can lift up on this and see how it just comes apart. Just like this. Be very careful when you get around the corners, just to make sure everything came off just perfectly. Don't ever make the mistake of taking this backing off and then putting it on the mat, because you'll end up with a sticky mess. I'm just going to kind of peel this off. You can see my backing right here. This is okay, so I have two pieces here, just like this. So I can use either of these. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And I can see that my other piece cut out perfectly. It's already coming up a little bit. And there's actually a little tool that you can help take this off if it's sticking to your mat. I'm going to use this piece of fabric. It's very similar to the black, but I thought you could maybe see a little bit better on the cream, just to give you a sample. So you're going to position your design. If it was your sleeve, then you would probably lay out your sleeve, and you can use chalk. Like I would use chalk maybe just down the center, just so I can keep in mind where the center is. And what I did on the sleeve is I put one design this way and the other way. So let's just lay this here. You would probably want to use just a little bit of like a piece of muslin fabric between this so it doesn't gook up your iron. But I'm going to just press it like this so you can see. You want to make sure all the edges are down. It just makes it so much easier when you go to stitch this. So this is what I have so far. You could add other designs wherever you want to. I mean, that's the point. Put them wherever you need to, press it in place, and then you need to stitch. So let's just start with this, and I'm going to show you a couple fun stitches. So I'm going to go around these curves. I have not lowered the feed dogs. I'm leaving them up. I'm going to use my hands to maneuver the fabric. If your fabric has stretch or it's real flimsy, you might want to put a backing on this before you get to this step. But let me just show you what this looks like. Go slow when you're going around the curves. But see how my hands are holding the fabric? And what I'm doing when I go around the curve, again, I'm holding this hand almost still and using this to move the fabric. And go around the curve. This is a nice big design. It makes it a little bit easier. When you get to the smaller ones that I had, those take a little bit of time, so you just have to be patient. We'll go around a little bit more and see what we have here. A little bit further. Once I get around the curve, I can extend this all the way down and either cross over this line and come back around, but whichever, either right here and right here is going to have to cross, or right here and right here. You want it to be one continuous design. It just makes it look better than if you just stuck some fabric on as a decoration. So let's go down a little bit further. And you can see this design over the edge. Now let me just make it a little bit wider so you can see the difference. This is a 3.0 in width. The last one was a 2.0 in width. I'll go a little bit further so you can see the difference. Actually, I kind of like this. Can you see the difference there? Now that's very rich. So if this was on black thread on top of this, this is exactly what I did on that jacket. Again, going on the inside curve, so this time, this hand is going to almost hold the fabric, and this one's going to push it around. Why am I doing that? Because if you don't, you're going to end up with lines that they're not even. The blanket stitch is not even. Keep going around a little bit further. And let's just say on this side, we want to end. So just do 1 or 2 back stitches. Don't make it too extreme because it'll show. So here's our stitching. Cut that. That looks really nice. The hardest part are these curves. Again, use your hands to maneuver. And then all I would do for this is skip across to here. Get the thread out of the way. And stitch around again. Again, holding my hand, I'm holding this fabric, so the feed dogs are working against my hand. Sometimes they're working with it. It just depends which way the curve's going. So you can see this really coming to life here as I go around the curve, again going a little bit slower. The fabric starts to twist a little bit. You really don't want to lift up on this too much. You could do it a little bit, but not too much. Otherwise, your stitches will be very uneven. Again, don't be a perfectionist. This is just a fun thing to do. Just practice on one piece of fabric before you get going. Okay, now this is the one I'm just going to go right across. You'll be able to see this, and then there we go. I think you're getting the idea. It's very easy. So I ran this around, skipped over, ran it back over. So this is going to come back around just like that. It looks like a music note. This is a great technique for embellishing jackets, skirts, shorts, whatever you want.